Hi there, I'm Julie, and this is my March reading update. I can't believe we're already into April, but here we are. This year has been long and short all at the same time, I swear. So, if you're new here, hi, I'm Julie. I like to do reading updates. If you're into lifestyle, bookish, travel type content, I hope you'll stay. I hope you'll subscribe. That is what we're about here. But today is a slight break in my travel videos. Sorry if you wanted to see travel day, but that's coming next week. So subscribe if you want to see my travel day to Florida. This is in the future from then, okay? We are in April. That was in March. I did some reading in March. I read 4 books. A little bit about how I track my reading. I use Goodreads and I use Storygraph. Goodreads I've been using for almost 10 years, maybe a little bit more. No, about 10 years-ish. I don't know. So it's just habit to mark the books that I've read on there. I don't use it a whole lot other than that. Storygraph, however, I love Storygraph. I love the stats that it gives you. I really enjoy that you can mark the books as owned on the app, and you don't have to do it just on desktop. Looking at you, Goodreads. That was aggressive, I'm sorry. It's just books. Anyway, so if you'd like to follow me on Storygraph, feel free. My username is Julie_EW. Like I said, I read 4 books this month, which, standard. I will say, I'm trying to read. I have over 200 books in my physical collection that I have not read yet. I own over 400 books. Half of those I haven't read. I'm trying to get through more physical books that I own. This month I didn't do so well with that. Well, I should say last month. Well, this month that I'm talking about. I have an excuse. I was traveling and I only bring my Kindle when I travel. Granted, I only traveled for 6 days. However, that's my excuse and I'm sticking with it, okay? It is what it is. So, I read 4 books. Well, I should say I finished 4 books. I always read 2 books at once, one on my Kindle, one physical. So I am in the middle of 2 other books that I'll talk about in a second. But I finished 4, which pretty standard for me. I typically finish about 1 book a week, maybe more if I get through them really quickly, but that's pretty standard for me. All of these stats are coming from Storygraph. This is a huge reason why I love Storygraph, is because of the stats it gives you that Goodreads does not. And those 4 books total to 1,460 pages. Like I said, the physical versus ebook ratio wasn't what I hoped for, but it is what it is. Okay, I read 1 book, 1 physical book that I own, and then 3 digital books, which are on my Kindle. So it was a 25-75% split. Not my best work, but you know what? We're working through it. It's a work in progress. Kindles are just so easy to read in bed at night, which is when I typically do most of my reading. My most read genres for the month: romance, fantasy, thriller, and mystery. I read fantasy on my Kindle. I don't know what it is, but fantasies are just easier to read on your Kindle. I feel like it's not as daunting. So I've been reading a lot of fantasy on my Kindle and then going into my like thriller mystery stash at home. The books I read, I'm going to go in order of when I read them. So the first one is The Games Gods Play by Abigail Owen. I read this on my Kindle. For me, it was a 4-star read. I thoroughly enjoyed this and I would recommend it to people if they wanted to read a fantasy. Basically, like, the veil between the Olympic gods world and the human world is very thin. Like, they coexist to a certain point. But basically the gods put on this game to, like, determine who the next god will be, so they don't, like, go through an all-out war and, like, murder everyone. So instead, they'd rather risk the lives of humans. So, like, each human that they choose is, like, representative of them in this game. It's so good. If you like the trial games, think Throne of Glass Book 1, actual Throne of Glass. If you like that sort of, like, humans going through trials, or magical trials, because I guess there is a bit of, Olympic magic powers, I don't know what you could call it, that come into play. Highly recommend. So good. It is the first book of an unfinished series. I don't know when book 2 is coming out, but I really enjoyed it. The next book, so multi-layered. The next 2 books I finished are in a series, and I'm currently reading a book, or another book in that series. So the first one, the series is called The Memory Puller. It's by Kris K. Haines. The first one I finished was The Memory Puller. The writing, everything you would want in a fantasy series. I love the writing so much. It's so descriptive, and it evokes so much emotion. It's so good. I'm not gonna read the whole thing on Goodreads, but this is what came up on Goodreads. So Cassandra Fortin is the female main character. By day, she toils at the temple, pulling the human memories craved by her fae overlords. By night, she hunts through those same memories for treasures to steal, buying freedom for the moral colony's least fortunate families. When her fellow sisters begin disappearing, the officer assigned to the case is the one individual who could expose her secret criminal history. Good thing Cassandra stole his memory when he apprehended her during her most recent philanthropic robbery. And it goes on and on. But it's so good. So layered. So good. So that's the first one of the Memory Puller series, famously titled The Memory Puller. The second one is The Exile and the Savior. It's a continuation of the story, so I'm not going to get far into it because that would spoil a lot of the first book. Just know that both books are 4 stars for me, and I read them on my Kindle. And then I'm currently reading the 2.5, like number 2.5 in the series, called The Butcher and the Ballerina. That's what I have right here in front of me. The Memory Puller series. Love it. Can't wait to finish book 2.5. Can't wait to start book 3. Very excited. The last book I finished is The Writing Retreat by Julia Bartz. I give this one a 4.25 stars. Okay, it had me gasping and like wondering where it's gonna go next. It's super like creepy and eerie. It would be perfect for October, even into like November, December, because, well, it takes place in February. So like it would also be a really good February read, like cold winter nights. Oh, but it is so spooky, and just like unsettling. And as someone who is an aspiring author, I'm now scared to go to writing retreats. Like, this happen all the time. I don't want to go to one if that's the case. So it's slightly better than a 4-star for me, but like it's not as high as a 5-star could go. I was shooketh the entire time. So good. Highly recommend it, especially if you like thriller. But it was wild. And like very, well, I would say unrealistic, but you never know. So I already talked about The Butcher and the Ballerina, which is what I'm reading right now. The other book I'm reading right now is The Perfect Marriage by Geneva Rose. So that is my March reading wrap up. I love to read. I love to share what I read with other people. I still can't believe it is April and I just did a March reading update. Lordy. Anyway, okay. I hope y'all have a good day. If you enjoyed this, give it a like. Let me know what you read this past month or what you're reading now. Like I always say, I could always add more books to my TBR. Do I need to? No. But I like the feeling of a never-ending TBR because I don't like the feeling of like running out of books. That's scary. Anyway, yeah, have a good day. have a good weekend, and I will see y'all in the next one. Okay, bye. I read, oh, and all of these stats are coming from Goodreads. No, they are not. Why did that sound like polar? Polar. The memory polar.